Hey all, this is a video response to Captain Burz's Ron Paul challenge. Now I'm going to be probably messing up all the guideline stuff and everything for it, so what you want to do is go ahead and check his video for the set guidelines unless you know them already. In a nutshell, it is what you like about Ron Paul, what concerns you about Ron Paul, and what you just flat out don't like. The concerns being clarification, like something you would like to get clarification from Ron Paul on. Again, check Burz's video because I'm going to be messing up this whole thing, and what I have is the guidelines, and what I follow here won't be what Burz asked for. I'm trying to think of which order I should put it in. Do I want to stop? Do I want to end this all on a positive note or a negative note? Now, in management, depending on what sort of a reaction you want to give to your audience, is how you end the meeting. If you want to end the meeting with a positive feeling of hope and get the most action out of them, then, well, you deal with the bad stuff first, and then you finish out with the positive. So everybody leaves the little gathering with a warm and fuzzies. I think I'm going to do the same thing with Ron Paul, because I see hope in his approach. And amidst some very funky political environments in Washington, he seems to stay true to his course. So we'll finish this out with the stuff that I like about him, and I'll make it a bit of a sandwich here. I'm going to start out with the things that I would just want some clarification on. What I would like for a clarification on is his campaign finance stuff. He is for open campaign finance, and I believe he's okay with the lobbying stuff, in my understanding. I would just like some clarification on his lobbying reform stances, and I would also like some clarification on what his deal is with the campaign finance, because frankly, I see his stance on campaign finance to be no different than any other politician who would want to have BP give them $2 million to their election fund. Personally, I don't think that's cool. I don't think that there should be a system allowed that would edge out the little guy. Not that there needs to be equal footing, because I know we don't live in a perfect world, but what of the guy that can only scrape together a couple $1,000s? He doesn't stand a chance if he can't get on TV or anything. So I don't have the answer to that. What I would just like is some clarification from the man who knows more, which I would assume that would be Dr. Paul, and he would at least know more about what he means. Now, what I don't like about Ron Paul, I don't like how long he's been a politician. You know, for somebody that's so against career politicians, he sure has managed to be one for well over 20 years. And I do not like politicians. I don't like a person who is paid to do what politicians do, and it greatly troubles me when a person is a politician for so long. Regardless of whether or not the person seems to be good or not, I don't like that. I don't like the way that he has earmarked other bills. I don't like the way that when you go to sites like followthemoney.org, or is it .net? Anyway, there's a site that follows the lobbying money, and it follows what the person votes for, what the person adds to bills. And when you look at Dr. Paul's history, he looks pretty much like every other politician to me. I don't like that. I don't like that he has open-ended things such as end the Fed. Okay, say the Federal Reserve is unconstitutional and it's up to the Congress to coin money and set the value thereof. I don't quite get that he has necessarily the solution, so much so as he just has like, well, here's the problem and we just end it and the problem will sort of take care of itself, I assume. Maybe that's something I could get some more clarification on. Frankly, I haven't looked into it, so maybe he has clarified, and I just don't know. I also don't care for a portion of the body of his supporters, the conspiracy theorists that believe that he is somehow the answer. I'm concerned, and I don't like that his approach doesn't seem any more than pandering to the paranoid conspiracy people. Well, paranoid or not, you know, when you got truthers in your camp hardcore that believe everything you say and lap it up with a biscuit, I don't like that, dude. I don't like that people think that he's just the answer. That scares me. One man's nowhere near the solution. I don't like that. I don't think that he sells himself as that, but I don't like that he's in that position. Now, what I do like about Ron Paul, I like that he is against the Patriot Act and restoration of the Fourth Amendment due process. That's pretty much enough for him to get my vote. He could club baby seals on the side and then figure out a way to totally veto the Patriot Act, and he will have my vote. And that is enough for him to have my vote. I like his stance on laissez-faire. I like his stance on the free market. I would like to see a little bit more of how he plans to implement a free market outside of just mere deregulation, because kind of the way things are right now, if you just go and deregulate, there's no telling what could happen. I mean, maybe if he was able to clarify and say, listen, we just need to have this come out in the wash and we deregulate and dog eat dog. But the problem is we already have all these gigantic corporations, so if you deregulate, you know, you're just going to have a king of the hill type situation, in my opinion. Another thing that I very much like about Dr. Ron Paul is he seems to me to be, out of all the politicians, he strikes me as the type of person that if you were to approach him eye to eye, person to person, and ask him a question, you would get a straight answer. I believe that you wouldn't get the type of answer that he would just want you to hear. The concerns that I have, I feel confident that if I saw Ron Paul on the street and I asked him those concerns, that he would address them as clearly as possible. And I also believe that if he didn't have the answer, he would probably say so. He wouldn't try to bullcrap his way around it. And I dig that. So there you go, man. That's me and Ron Paul, and why I'll be supporting him in the primary down here in Florida. And anyways, to Burrs, this was a great idea for a video response series, and keep up the good work, man.